When Naughty Dog released the first Crash Bandicoot game, it became an instant classic, but there was room for improvement. After its release, Crash Bandicoot was one of the games that put PlayStation on the map and was considered to be its mascot. And of course, fans were waiting patiently for a sequel. A year later, in 1997, Crash Bandicoot 2 was born, and it is one of my favorite games of all time. Let me explain why as I review
Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back.
The story picks up right after beating Cortex in the first game as he falls and crashes down below to his death. But he survives for some reason. When he woke up, he saw a power crystal, and it was just when he needed to take over the world. 1 year passes and Cortex, with the help of Engine,
Save crystals from the surface. How do you expect to retrieve them when we don't have any Earthbound operatives left?
tries to find 25 power crystals so that he can blow up the world. But there was a problem. Everyone who worked for Cortex in the first game refused to help him. Maybe because they didn't want to fight Crash again because they got their butt whipped in the first game. No one to turn to, Cortex decides the only person that can help him is an enemy. Brings us to Crash and his sister Coco. Coco ran out of batteries, so it's up to Crash to go on a massive and huge adventure to find some batteries for Coco. In the middle of a jungle. Yeah, sure, whatever. This is the part we play as Crash, and the first thing I've noticed was the controls are much tighter this time around. Not only that, it adds new features to make this game much better and updated, like sliding and body slam. They also added nitros. If you touch it, you pretty much get hurt or you die. There's nothing much to say about it, just don't touch it or bad things will happen. They also improved on the bonus stages. If you accidentally fall, you don't have to worry about starting the level all over again. They also added death routes, which is nice. While you're trying to find batteries, out of nowhere, Crash gets teleported to a warp room by Cortex, then tells you to find all the 25 power crystals, or else. Here's something I must add here before we move on, and it's thank Christ that we can save the game whenever we want. Because trying to save the game on the first Crash game was like a chore. So being able to save the game whenever we feel like it is so much better and less stressful. There are 5 levels in each warp room, and each level has a crystal. Find all the 5 crystals and you get to fight a boss. The bosses include Ripperoo, the Komodo Brothers, Tiny Tiger, Engine, and the final boss being, of course, Cortex. More on that later. What I really love about this game is the soundtrack. The first Crash Bandicoot game soundtrack was pretty forgettable, but this game's soundtrack is pure gold. It's really catchy once you give it a try. I mean, have a listen to this. And how about this one? And this one. And of course, one of my personal favorite one. During the game, if you collect a gem, Embryo will contact you and tell you to get all the gems so he can blast Cortex Vortex. This is important, especially if you want the true ending. Collecting the gems is a bit outside the box type of thing. Mostly you earn a gem by breaking boxes, but there are other ways. I won't spoil any of them as I would like you to find them out for yourself. But keep in mind that if you want to get all the gems, you might have to think outside the box. Get it? Box. Crash breaks boxes. Huh? Oh god, that was terrible.
Boo! You stink!
Once you have nearly collected all the crystals and all the gems if you really want, Coco tells Crash that Cortex is using the crystals to destroy the world and only you can stop him.
Crash! Cortex isn't going to use the crystals to contain the planet's energy. He's going to harness the force and use it to power the super Cortex vortex he has built on his space station. One blast of the ray will cover the entire world, turning everyone into Cortex's mindless slaves. Crash, don't let him have those crystals!
So, all the build-up, all the anticipation leading up to the final boss battle, and it was the most easiest boss battle of all time. Like, seriously, all this hard work and this is what I get? The final boss in the first Crash Bandicoot game was a joke, but here? This is a pathetic excuse for a final boss. It took me just over 45 seconds to beat Cortex. Hell, some people complain that it takes less than 30 seconds to beat him. Well, now that I think about it, mostly all the boss battles are far too easy. Except for Engine, because he's a bit difficult sometimes. But other than that, most of the boss fights are just too easy. If you finish the game while you got all the gems, you get the true ending. And of course, Embryo blows up Cortex Vortex. Now, the true ending builds up to Crash Bandicoot 3, Warped. But that's a story for another day. If I said Crash Bandicoot 1 was an instant classic, then Crash Bandicoot 2 is a masterpiece. Naughty Dog saw all the mistakes and improved them with new features, tighter controls, better gameplay for the gamers, and of course, the goddamn soundtrack. The only bad thing I have about this game is the boss characters are too easy, especially the final boss. So that being said, I'm going to be giving Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back a 9 out of 10. I encourage you to have this game in your collection of video games. It's fun, entertaining, and it's one of the best Crash Bandicoot platform games of all time. So thank you for watching this review. I'm definitely going to be doing Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. I'm not sure when it's going to come out, but I can assure you that it will be coming out. Either next week or the fortnight or a month or so. I don't really know. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.